I am starting a crash course for mains 2023. Please color change कर दो उसका कलम 2023 as in the class. My purpose is to provide better understanding within short span of time, usually in 30 to 40 hours. Along with test series. I will take 6 tests, 4 sectional and 2 full length with a test series and these 30 to 40 hour classes. I think a student can have better understanding to face the exam comfortably. The purpose is the student may qualify. Hours hardly matters. More matter is understanding within short span of time. First, I start with thought. Thought is the core of the subject. First, we have to understand that what is anthropological thought. Thought in any subject, not only anthropology, is the core of the subject, and it provides the way of looking at society. Thought provide the way of looking at society and culture. Actually, anthropological thought starts with classical evolutionism. Classical evolutionism, diffusionism, functionalism, neo-evolutionism, structuralism, symbolism, cognitive anthropology, etc. These thoughts provide the way of looking at society. Society issues, marriage, family, kinship, culture. Actually, thinkers have their own opinion, own way of looking at social and cultural phenomena. So thought, just like our leader, Congress party, BJP party and other political party have views on any subject. For example, BJP passed farm laws and BJP held the view that farm laws very favorable for the farmers. But the other parties, Congress, Communist Party, SP, BSP, oppose the bill that it is not interest of the farmers. Likewise, that thinkers have their own views about social phenomena, about cultural phenomena. For example, classical evolutionism look any phenomena in terms of origin. For example, regarding marriage, their approach is to understand origin of marriage, origin of family, etc. But functionalism rejected this approach and they purport to view anything in terms of function of marriage, function of family, etc. So thought thinkers have their own view to look at any phenomena. So there are several debate in anthropology. The first debate between there are several debate in anthropology. First debate is between debates in anthropology, in anthropological thought. The first debate is origin versus function. This is the first debate among thinkers, and this debate is between classical evolutionists, such as Morgan, Tyler, Fraser, hold the view that intend to study socio-cultural phenomena in term of origin, or evolution. For example, as per Morgan, group marriage pass through, following stage group marriage to polygamy to monogamy. So Tyler view religion, as per Tyler, religion pass through animism to polytheism to monotheism. So their approach is evolutionist approach to focus on the origin, evolution. So they study marriage, how marriage originated, what was the initial form of marriage, and how they reach the end point. Marriage pass through group marriage, polygamy to monogamy. Religion pass through animism to polytheism to monotheism. So they talk about origin first. Their view was rejected. Functionalist. Within functionalism, there are two thinkers. RV means Radcliffe Brown and Malinowski. Radcliffe Brown hold the view. They intended to study functionalism, intended to study in terms of function. They refused to study origin. They rejected evolutionist approach of studying any phenomena in terms of origin. They focus on study any phenomena in terms of function. For them, however, there is difference. They study function in terms of societal need. RV focus is on society's need, and Malinowski's focus on individual needs. RV hold the view that marriage, their view on marriage and family, they view marriage and family from society's point of view, marriage and family from society's point of view, that marriage helps continuation of society. Society helps continuation of society, nuation of society. Family help continuation of society. Family help reproduction, and through reproduction society is continued. So actually RV, he is a functionalist, but his focus is on society. He conceived many phenomena. On the other hand, Malnowski focus on individual needs. For him, marriage helps individual in satisfying sex. Marriage satisfies individual needs. Family satisfies individual needs. So they viewed any phenomena in terms of function. Functionalism views any phenomena in terms of function. However, there is difference between Radcliffe-Brown and Malnowski. Radcliffe-Brown focus is on society need. Malnowski focus is on individual needs. This debate you also have in political science. Individual versus society debate is also prevalent in political science. Directive principle represent social need and fundamental right represent individual needs. So there is a we discuss in next step. So first debating among the thinker is origin versus function. The other debate. Next debate is man versus society. This debate is among this debate among functionist Radcliffe-Brown focus is on society, and Malnowski focus is on individual needs. Actually, they study Radcliffe-Brown study marriage, that marriage helps society in its continuation through reproduction. Sexual relation between husband and wife produces children, and that children help society to continue. Likewise, family, they conceive family in terms of social needs. Malnowski focus. Malnowski study marriage from individual point of view. Marriage helps individual's point of view. Marriage helps individual to satisfy sex. Family help individual to gratify primary needs. So even within functionalists, there is a debate between man versus society. Radcliffe-Brown focus more on societal needs, and that Malnowski focus on individual needs. The other debate in anthropology is next debate. In anthropology is understanding versus explanation. Actually, functionalist like RB, like Malnowski, claim to provide claim to provide objective provide or objective study of native life through field work. Claim to provide objective account of native life. Malvaski, in his field work of Trobriand Islander, during his field work among Trobriand Islander, held the view that he studied Trobriand life very objectively as a scientist, and he provided causal explanation of native life. He provided causal explanation of native life. However, he claimed to provide causal explanation because he studied Trobriand life objectively. But his objective explanation was rejected by postmodernist and other postmodernist or symbolic anthropologists. They claim to have understanding, they focus on to have understanding. I will make it again clear. Postmodernism, symbolism, their focus is on understanding, not explanation. Their focus is on understanding, not explanation. Actually, postmodernism was against science. They said that science, we study human being, and in a study human being, understanding is more important. It is not better to provide causal explanation. I give you a simple example. When I ask actually in a hot summer day, coconut seller, a hawker who is selling coconut water, in summer day he was wearing black t-shirt. I asked him on the basis of my observation that, do you not know black t-shirt is observer of more heat and you will feel more heat because of wearing black t-shirt? Then he replied, sir, if I wear white shirt, then coconut water, during cutting coconut, some water come on my shirt and it get a spot. Whose explanation is more relevant? The explanation given by hawker was more relevant. So given causal explanation on the basis of observed fact is not proper. Actually, focus would be on the reason, on the meaning given by actor to his behavior. So postmodernists focus on the meaning given by the actors, the people. Causal explanation is not relevant to understand the real fact in action. I again come. The other debate in anthropology is on culture. Actually, culture is very important concept in anthropology. Culture is central. Debate on next time. Debate on first be debate on culture I will discuss in the last. Fourth, debate in anthropology. Debate on uh, universalist universalist versus relativist. Debate on universalist versus classical evolutionist. Such as Morgan, Tyler, intended to study culture, keeping in view mankind as a whole. They study they study culture, keeping view mankind as a whole, and purpose that purpose every culture every culture passes through savagery, barbarism to civilization. Savagery, barbarism to civilization. Actually, they provided general concept of culture, keeping mankind as a whole, and purpose that every society first exists in savagery stage, next it passed into barbarism, and third civilization. It is a stage up to hunting, pre-pottery stage. Barbarism start with pottery making, and civilization with writing. So they consider mankind as a whole. They view that mankind is one. Mankind is one. Tyler. Tyler view psychic unity of mankind. Psychic unity of mankind. मतलब mankind, people everywhere think in similar way, feel in similar way, and because of similar way of thinking, man developed several things at different places independently. Because of psychic unity of mankind, mankind developed agriculture in different area of the world independently because they think in similar way. Psychic Morgan's view, germ idea that people everywhere have similar germ idea. Mankind is one. Is also other anthropologists such as actually Levi-Strauss. Levi-Strauss also hold the view that Levi-Strauss also talk about universal mind, that people in his book Savage Society, Savage Man, है ना, Levi-Strauss also hold the view that there is a universal mind. Actually, Levi-Strauss concern is functioning of human mind, and he hold the view that human mind everywhere function in opposite. Human thinks in opposites. day versus night in binary. So actually he also support universalist view that mankind everywhere thinks in opposites in binary. And cognitive anthropologist cognitive anthropologist also support the view of universalist view by holding that cogn universal cognitive scheme universal cognitive scheme. Cognitive anthropologists also support, also subscribe to universalist view through his idea of universal cognitive scheme. Universal cognitive scheme means people everywhere classify things in similar way. Cognitive scheme, universal cognitive scheme imply that people everywhere classify things in similar way. Whirling and K, Whirling and K, Whirling VER, Whirling and K showed that color classification everywhere follow the same course, simple to complex. Follow the same course, simple to complex. Actually, we human have a tendency to organize things by classifying them. You yourself in your room, you classify books. This is the books of anthropology, this is books of gender studies. Even in gender study, you classify books of society. First you keep in a separated space. Books of other topics, other GS paper you place. So human everywhere have a tendency to classify things and in similar way. Universal cognitive scheme means people everywhere try to organize things by classifying them in similar way. So actually there is a debate of universalist versus relativist. Universalist view is held by classical evolutionists, in which I have discussed the Tyler view of psychounity of mankind. Levi-Strauss also supported universalist view by talking about universal mind which operate in binary opposition. Levi-Strauss hold the view that people everywhere have a unconscious mental structure that operate in binary opposition, and he showed this through a study of myth. In the study of myth, he showed that people myth in all societies have idea in opposite, have idea in binary. He studied myths of South American Indian, and in all the myth he found that there is binary ideas. He discussed that myth should be broken into methane and a relationship discovered between them, and he found that in all the myths there are elements of opposition and element of resolution. Myth everywhere. He showed that, I can give you an Indian example. In Indian myth, you know what sea churning, a tussle between gods and demons. So God and demon are opposites. God and demons are opposites. And there is a sea churning for Amrit and poison. Amrit and poison are opposites. Everywhere, everyone was willing to take Amrit, but no one is willing to take poison. So there is a conflict here, opposition. And Lord Shiva resolved this conflict by drinking poison. However, keeping the poison in his throat, and so he called Nilkant. So Levi-Strauss tried to study this unconscious mental structure through the study of myth, and he studied the myth of South American Indian. In all these South American myths, he found a common point. And what was the common point? There is a element of opposition and resolution in every myth. Okay? Opposition and resolution, opposite ideas. Actually, cognitive anthropology also support universalist view by talking about universal cognitive scheme. Okay? So I say that thinkers, some thinkers hold the view that mankind is one, and other thinker. Now I am coming the relativist view, actually in culture is relative. This view is held by Franz Boas. Franz Boas, he opposed a study of culture in general. He opposed the study of culture in general, that is a study of culture, a stage-wise a study of culture from savagery, barbarism to civilization, and he focused on a specific culture. He opposed evolutionist idea of a study culture keeping you of mankind. He focused on history of a specific culture, that a specific culture has unique history of its development, and he proposed the idea of historical particularism. Historical particularism, that every culture has its own history of development. So every culture is unique. Every culture has its own history of development. So every culture is unique. Actually, Morgan view that savagery, barbarism, and civilization. Morgan tag every society in this three stage. Tag every society in this three stage. If society is a hunting society, then he tagged the society in upper barbarism. Hunting society, he tagged hunting society in upper savagery. He tagged a society doing agriculture in barbarism, and he tagged a society that has writing in civilization. So actually this approach was rejected by Franz Boas, and he proposed that every society is unique, every culture is unique because of its unique development. And through this he explained uniqueness of the concept is very relevant especially even in Indian context also. The concept of historical particularism is very relevant for explaining historical of is very relevant for explaining uniqueness uniqueness of Nair Nair's matrilineal Nair matrilineal and polyandrous society, Tharu patrilineal society with women domination and matrilineal Muslim society of Lakshadweep. Uniqueness of all these society, these Indian societies, can be explained by historical parallelism. Nair, in Nair society, concept of marriage is not permanent. Just after divorce, है ना, women become free. Just after marriage, divorce occurs and women become free to have sex relation with anyone and bear children. So concept of permanent husband does not exist among Nair. So it is polyandrous. But the children born are legitimate member of material society. Actually, this system was designed to make a Nair an ideal soldier. So it was the product of special circumstances. Nair were warrior, and as a warrior, they have to remain in the battlefield. So just after marriage between a boy and girl, divorce occurs. Marriage ritual authorizes the woman. Marriage ritual is very essential. Without marriage ritual, a woman cannot bear children. So marriage ritual is essential. And after that, the man becomes free to do his military service. So this system was especially designed for a special circumstances in which Nair served as a warrior. Tharu is a tribe of Tarai region, UP and Bihar. About Tharu myth of origin hold the view that Tharu people fought against Mughals, in which against Tharu people fought against the Mughal on the side of Rana Pratap, in which Tharu men were slaughtered. Women have to flee back in the Tarai region with their servants. So they regard that Tharu men, the present Tharu men were not real Tharu. They are the descendant of their servants. So they do not treat men as equal. Though the society is patrilineal, but women dominate in Tharu society. Despite patrilineal system, there is a domination of women in Tharu society, because they feel that their present Tharu, though they are husband and brothers, are not real Tharu men, but they are descended of their husband, their servants. Uniqueness of Muslim of Lakshadweep. Muslim society are patrilineal, but especially tribal of Lakshadweep, who became Muslims, are influenced by Nair society, material Nair society of Kerala, and they are still, despite conversion, they have become Muslim, but they continue to have matrilineality. So actually, concept of historical particularism is very relevant in thought, in discussing thinkers. You should try to explain thought. You try to show the thought, showing example from Indian society. Though concept by developed of historical particularism developed by Franz was, but you should have to explain it through examples from Indian society, that historical particularism is very relevant for explaining uniqueness of society. Every society is unique because of its unique historical development. Simple thing is, every society is unique because of unique development. So concept, you can discuss the example. If this question comes, you could give the example of this Indian society and prove the answer. So Franz was a relativist, and in that he is not in favor of a study culture, keeping view mankind as a whole, but he intended to study a specific culture, the development of a specific culture, and he provided the concept of historical particularism. Historical particularism developed by Franz was in a position of evolutionist, and he, through this concept, he showed that every culture has its own history of development. So every culture is unique, and the concept is very relevant for explaining uniqueness. People living in the same environment, Nilgiri tribal, Toda, Kota, Kurumba, Badaga, living in Nilgiri environment, but they have different culture. Toda is pastoral. Toda has a pastoral culture. Kurumba, Nilgiri tribal, there are 4 tribe in Nilgiri: Toda, Kota, Kurumba, and Badaga. Toda is pastoral. Toda has pastoral way of life. Raise buffalo. Toda raise buffalo and live on milk and milk product. Kota is a musician. Toda is a musician and artisan. Kota is a musician and artisan. He provides music on marriage and their ceremony of all the other tribals, and provide utensil. Kurumba is a sorcerer, and he protect all 3 tribal against a spirit attack, and Badaga is a cultist. Despite sharing the same Nilgiri environment, they have unique historical development. As a result, they have different culture. Kurumba is a sorcerer, and he provides services of sorcery to all other tribals. Badaga is a agriculturist. So actually living the same Nilgiri environment, but they have unique development. As a result, they have unique culture. Okay. So he was a relativist. Concept of cultural relativism is also Franz was concept of cultural relativism. Cultural relativism hold the view that no culture is superior and no culture is inferior. Every culture, this is also concept by Franz was. Cultural relativism concept by Franz was. No, this is other question. Cultural relativism. Yes, he was a relativist now, so he also propounded the concept of cultural relativism. Cultural relativism simply implies that No culture is superior and no culture is inferior. Every culture must be viewed in its own context. The cultural relativism, concept of culture promote respect and tolerance for all other culture. Promote respect and tolerance towards all other culture and reject every form of discrimination. Culture relativism and human rights. Huh? No. Cultural relativism and human rights. The philosophy behind cultural relativism is to accept and respect other culture as equally good. Is to accept other culture as equally good. However, some anthropologists question the concept of cultural relativism that if we accept everything in other culture is equally good, equally good, then we have to accept some custom such as head hunting Naga, human sacrifice in Aztec, etc. as equally good. Here the point to note that such custom point to note that cultural relativism does not support cultural relativism does not support custom that violate human rights. है ना? Franz was himself criticized Nazism practiced by Hitler's regime. So culturalism supports other culture, respect other culture. For example, youth dormitory, youth dormitory, youth dormitory in several types of society, youth dormitory, institution of polyandry in Toda, institution of polyandry in Toda, Khasaj, etc. as equally good as equally good from these tribal moral standard. And they should be respected. And then tribal should respect these institutions, and non-tribal should respect these institutions. If non-tribal will respect these institutions, if non-tribal will regard these institutions as tribal institution as tribal institutions, tribal festivals as equally good, then tribal will be encouraged to celebrate their festivals and enjoy their cultural rights. Cultural relativism and globalization. Heading: Cultural relativism and globalization. In this globalized world, where people of different color, language, culture, people of different color, language and culture living side by side in the metro cities, living side by side in metro cities, cultural activism, cultural activism intend to promote respect and tolerance among people, and promote the a spirit of peaceful coexistence. Okay. Now I am coming the next debate in anthropology, debate on culture. Actually, culture is the fourth debate. Anthropology is culture, fifth debate. Fifth debate on culture. Culture is culture. Culture is central concept of anthropology, and thinkers have deliberated on the issue of culture, and thinkers have debated on the issue of culture. Actually, this question has been asked into the concept of actually this question is very important, the development of concept of culture, the development of the concept of culture. This question has come even in 2018. Concept of culture is central to anthropology, and several questions has been asked on this. First, actually, you have to understand that culture is about human, right? The culture is about human human life. Human life is multidimensional. Multi-dimensional. Sometime, actually, after a night's sleep, when you awakes, you need food. But what to eat and what not to eat depends on culture. So, to satisfy to satisfy hunger, culture help you what food to eat and what not to eat. You have to worship, है ना? You have, so how you will worship supernatural? Here culture guide you. You have to go to school. You have to go to college. Here culture guide you to go to school. Culture is for human. Culture is a means that help you. Culture helps you to survive, and human life has many dimensions. So culture has many dimensions. So culture is multidimensional. Multi-dimensional. You have a concept of culture question in 2008. Culture is you have a question, and this is not a question. Concept of culture. The concept of culture is vast and varied. Because culture is multi-dimensional, human life is multi-dimensional. So culture is multi-dimensional. They are sometimes now thinkers provide the answer of this question. है ना? Debate on culture provide the answer that how culture is multi-dimensional, culture is vast and varied. First thing is culture is about human. Animal does not have culture, and human life is multi-dimensional. Sometimes you have to satisfy your hunger. Sometimes you have to go to school and college, and their culture help you by giving conveyance, metro, bus, etc. So these are cultural dimension, and sometimes you have to go to temple to worship. So human life is multi-dimensional. You have to live in certain in several area, several ways. So culture helps you in all these. So culture is multidimensional, and so the question is culture is vast and varied. Thinkers provide answer to this question, है ना? Now we come at the debate of culture. Debate on culture. theories thinkers provide the answer to the question how culture is vast and varied, है ना? टाइलर, E.B. टाइलर, मलनोवस्की, रैडक्लिफ ब्राउन, आरवी, supported behavioristic perspective of culture. Culture is learned behavior. Culture is learned behavior. Tyler provided the first definition of culture. Culture includes knowledge, belief, art, custom, tradition, moral law, and any other capabilities and habit acquired by man as member of society. So, emphasis on of Tyler is on acquired behavior. Culture is something that is acquired. So they all supported behavioristic approach of culture. RV say that culture is construct. RV Radcliffe Brown say that as per Radcliffe Brown, culture is construct. Construct means it is abstracted out of regularity in observed behavior. For Manovsky, culture is reality because as a human, because a culture regulate वेरी गुड, क्या गया ये? Reality because culture regulate सोचते हैं इसको, है ना? बिकॉज कल्चर रेगुलेट, क्या खुल गया यार? ओ अच्छा, कल्चर रेगुलेट, है ना? एज ए ह्यूमन वी कांट इग्नोर कल्चर. फॉर मोलोसिक कल्चर यूटिलिटी, दिस इज क्वेश्चन ऑफ 1989 क्वेश्चन. कल्चर कंस्ट्रक्ट और रियलिटी. Malmasky regard culture as a reality and RV hold the view that culture is construct. It is abstracted out of behavior. So they subscribe to behavioristic perspective of culture. Second is technological perspective of culture. Technological perspective of culture. As per as per Leslie White, culture is tools tools technology. So he supported technological perspective of culture. For Julian Stewart, ecological perspective of culture. For Julian Stewart, Stewart, culture is ecological adaptation. From cognitive point of view, from cognitive perspective, culture is a system of knowledge. From symbolic point of view, या symbolic perspective of Greece, Turner, culture is a system of symbol. So you see the debate. Thinkers have their own view of culture. I know. Actually, behavioristic point of view, from behavioristic point of view of Tyler and Morgan, culture is behavior pattern. Culture is learned behavior pattern. First debate is Tyler, Malwski, Radcliffe Brown supported behavioristic perspective of culture. For them, culture is learned behavior, or we regard culture as construct because it is abstracted out of regularity in behavior. Malwski supported the view that out of regularity in observed behavior. Malwski regard culture, for Malwski, culture is reality, because as a human we can't ignore culture. Culture regulates our social, economic, political and biological aspect of life. It is culture regulates all aspect of life, social, economic, political and biological. So culture is what to eat, what not to eat depends upon culture. So you see the question, component of culture are vast and varied. Component of culture is behavior, learned behavior. Component of culture is tools. Component of culture is, suppose human life is multidimensional. When you, after night sleep, during the day you feel hunger, but what to eat and what not to eat depends on culture. So culture here help you what to eat and how to eat. Suppose you have to go to college, schools, then culture help you to tool. Here culture help you to tools, technology. Culture is a, suppose in rural area, a student have to go to school through crossing river. So culture there is ecological adaptation. Through boats you cross the river. So culture helps there as a adaptation. Culture is a system of knowledge. Actually, first you have to understand people's knowledge. If you like to adjust with other person, talk to other person, first you have to know his knowledge system. Suppose a person of Tamil Nadu does not have knowledge of Hindi. So you can't talk to him in Hindi. So first, if you like to interact with other person, first you have to know the level of knowledge, the nature of knowledge he has. And suppose you have to go to temple, suppose you have to marry, then you have to, you have to take the help of symbolic rituals. Rituals are symbolic. You go to temple, and folding this hand, this action is symbolic. This behavior, this act is symbolic act. If you go to temple bowing hands, it means you are showing respect to supernatural. You regard supernatural as above yourself. So there are several debates in anthropology. Thinkers debate. You see that concept of culture is very central to anthropology, and several thinkers view culture from their own point of view. Just like political party have their own view on farmland, Congress say that it is anti-farmer, BJP says it is in the help of, it is pro-farmer. Likewise that, thinkers have their own perspective on social cultural phenomena. You have several perspectives of culture that I have shown. All these views are complementary. Thinkers' view are complementary. They are not right and wrong as in mathematics. In mathematics or science, answer is right and wrong. But in social sciences, thinkers' views are perspective. They are not right and wrong. Okay? Now, I again come to this topic. We can view thought in several ways. Now I discuss that these thoughts have developed. Actually, every thought have developed in support or opposition of other prevailing thought. For example, all the party in India now, Congress is the grand old party, and in support or in opposition, several parties have developed. Likewise that, classical evolutionism is the the first school of thought, and in opposition of classical evolutionism developed diffusionism. And among diffusionism, the most important is historical particularism of Francois that I discussed. Classical evolutionism considering mankind as a whole propose general theory of culture, that culture passes through savagery, barbarism to civilization. So they have a stage concept of culture and propose that culture passes through savagery, barbarism to civilization. Franz Boas rejected this view through his concept of historical particularism, that we have to study culture, a specific culture, and a individual culture is unique because of its unique historical development. So historical particularism developed in a position of classical evolutionism. other school of thought that developed in a position is functionalism. Functionalism opposed a study of socio-cultural issue in term of origin and evolution, है ना. Functionalism of Malinowski, Radcliffe Brown developed in a position of classical evolutionism, है ना, to study social cultural phenomena in term of function, not origin. Malinowski dominated, actually functionalism dominated from 1920 to 1940, and after 1940 actually new evolutionism developed. New evolutionism developed. They accepted certain point of classical evolutionism, that you are classical evolution. They supported new evolutionism, supported the idea of evolution, but rejected the idea of a stage. But they rejected the idea of a stages, savagery, barbarism and civilization, है ना. So new evolutionism by White, supporter were White, Leslie White, Julian Stewart, Marvin Harris, etc. Malinowskian functionalist approach is very important approach, especially for UPSC. It is best approach, है ना, to answer question, especially in tribal contest. Actually, dominance of functionalist view prevail in anthropology. Anthropology nature, functionalism emphasize on stability, equilibrium, and this approach, a static view of functionalism, is reflected in anthropology. Questions are very repeated. There is a lack of dynamism in anthropological questions. Question on difference between a state and a stateless came in 1981, 1994, 92 and 2014. Same question is repeated. So this is because of functionalist domination in anthropology and a static view of anthropology, because they emphasize on, they study tribal society as a whole, है ना. Neo evolutionism, they rejected the idea of a stages, but they supported the idea of evolution, that evolution has occurred. Make difference later on between classical evolution and new evolutionism, then I will make this point clear, है ना. I will make difference between classical evolutionism and new evolutionism. There are several points here. They supported the idea of evolutionism, but they differ idea of a stages and linear evolution, because Leslie White say that man can exist in diverse environment, so there is multilinear evolution rather than unilinear evolution. And they also talked about mechanism of evolution. Leslie White say that adaptation is the mechanism of evolution. So I will make a difference further between classical evolutionism and evolutionism in next classes. Here I say that functionalists emphasize on field work, and functionalists hold that anthropology is science, है ना. Anthropology is science because they debate in anthropology science versus humanities, है ना. And they hold the Malinowski, Radcliffe Brown hold the view that anthropology is science because its method of a scientific. Field work is a scientific method. They say that, है ना, there is also a debate in anthropology, science versus humanities. Malinowski hold the view that anthropology is science because method of a study is field work, scientific. Okay, But other anthropologists differ. They say that anthropology है ना. So actually these field work, there is also a debate objectivity versus subjectivity. So actually they hold the view that we study, जैसे Malvaski studied Trovarian Islander through field work. He stayed there for 4 years, 1914 to 18, and studied Trovarian life objectively and claimed to provide objective view of tribal Trovarian society. But actually, other anthropologists say that anthropology deal with human being, and human being, जैसे actually in science, in physics, chemistry, in chemistry reaction, when you H2SO4 on Zn, H2 will come out, H2 hydrogen will come out. So this is very objectivity in the reaction. Whether researcher is Hindu or Muslim, reaction will not stop. It will keep on going. So here the research has a objectivity. But in human being, anthropology deals with tribal, and tribals are human being, and human beings are not material. They are actually researchers sometimes get influenced by the tribal people in which they live. So they knows that type of objectivity in anthropology, especially D.N. Majumdar. D.N. was Majumdar, he was the head department of Anthropology, Lucknow. He was in favor of value judgment, that we should make human judgment if a tribal custom is not in their favor. If you find something wrong for the people, is not in interest of the people, a researcher must say that that custom is not good. So this sort of subjectivity is relevant in anthropology. And other thing is, actually you will find some issue in subjectivity versus objectivity question you will have in anthropology, especially regarding fieldwork. Now I am coming to the other area. Actually, humanistic, this discipline, symbolic approach, symbolic thought, cognitive school, and cognitive school, these all school, and postmodernism. Postmodernism, they emphasize on understanding the meaning, understanding the meaning. And here you find a term, actually Francis dominated, and they emphasize on fieldwork. But this school of thought emphasize on understanding the meaning. Symbolist emphasize on understanding the meaning of symbols. Postmodernism, postmodernist, understanding the meaning given by actor. So actually cognitive anthropologists also emphasize on understanding the meaning of conversation, the people talk. Actually cognitive school, so actually these all schools have developed in a position of functionalism, functionalist, emphasis on scientific expression. Actually, these three school of thought developed in a position of functionalist emphasis on scientific explanation. That I have cleared in a specific classes on functionalism. Or so actually from in this school of thought you have emphasis on understanding the meaning. Symbolist emphasize on understanding the meaning of symbols, understanding the meaning embodied in symbols. And postmodernist emphasize on understanding the meaning given by actors. Cognitive emphasize on understanding how people talk, because their purpose is to know the knowledge of the people, and to understand the knowledge of the people they develop new ethnography. New ethnography is the method developed by cognitive anthropologists. In new ethnography, researchers go to the people without. Cognitive anthropologist aims to know the knowledge of the people through. Cognitive anthropologists aim to know the knowledge of the people through new ethnography technique. And what is the new ethnography technique? How it is different from field work? Actually, in field work, researchers go to the people with a hypothesis. For example, Margaret Mead went to Samoa with a hypothesis that emotional upheavals among the adolescents by due to cultural stress and strain, and he lived there and tested her hypothesis. In new ethnography, cognitive anthropologist technique of a study is new ethnography. In new ethnography, researcher go to the people without any hypothesis. He simply listen their communication, how people talk, the meaning of the word they give to their words, and they record the meaning given by the people. They record the meaning given by the people. He should not impose his own. That is, he should record from emic point of view, not ethic point of view. Actually, the meaning of the word researcher give, the people give, he should record the meaning. For example, in Samoa, the word T and K same. In Samoa, the meaning of the word T and K is the same in the sound. So when they mean Tutulla, they also mean Kukula. So he should island. If they use the word Tutulla for island, so he should record that Kukula is also an island. He should not impose his own meaning on the word. Actually, they K and T have the same meaning in a sound. So if they say Tutula, they also mean Kukula. Foreign and tribal researcher, the meaning would be different. K and T word are different. But for a native Samoan, the T and K is the same. So he should record the meaning given by the people. That is collection of data from emic point of view. Okay, I have given cognitive anthropologists aim to study knowledge of the people through new ethnography technique. New ethnography technique focus on conversation of the people, communication of the people, the word they use and the meaning they give to their words. है ना? So a cognitive anthropologist should collect data. Actually, Kenneth Pike gave the concept of emic point of view. The researcher should not impose his own meaning, है ना? For example, in Navajo, when the people say green, they also mean blue and purple. So he record the meaning purple. है ना? Juni when say green, he also mean other color. So actually there are very limitation of color in tribal society. Just say we have 7 color. These tribal do not have so many words for color. So actually they have the same meaning. When in Juni language, Navajo says green, he also mean blue and purple. Navajo is a tribe, American Indian, Navajo. When says green, he also mean blue and purple. So researchers should record the meaning of green, not only green, but also record blue and purple. Juni also mean yellow and orange. In a single word. Or I said that when they say tutula in Samoa, T and K word have the same meaning in a sound. So if they say tuitula, they also mean kukula. Recorder should record. Sometimes they say tutula and sometimes say kukula, but that is the same meaning for an island. So recording of data should be from emic point of view. So the purpose of cognitive anthropologist is to improve the standard of research. Okay, bye. And one thing, suppose this is the development of thinkers. Levi-Strauss is a different type of thinker. Levi-Strauss synthesizes knowledge of the time. He also includes Freud's, he got the idea of unconscious. Levi-Strauss, in Levi-Strauss theory, the idea of unconscious, that he got from Freud or linguistic. They actually Levi-Strauss theory has some semblance with linguistics. He thought is related to linguistics. In linguistics and Levi-Strauss. Linguistics such as Noam Chomsky. He has given the concept of universal grammar. And he has given the concept of unconscious. Actually, when we speak, the surface sentence that is the product, the statement is developed from the deep concept, deep sentence. Actually, what we speak, that is unconsciously transformed. So the idea of unconscious universal grammar is also prevalent in Levi-Strauss theory. Levi-Strauss theory the unconscious mental structure in human mind that act in binary opposition, that is day versus night, raw versus cook, cold versus hot. Actually, the idea of unconscious mental structure in human mind, actually the idea of universal and unconscious, it has got from linguistics. Noam Chomsky, he is a linguist. So actually Levi-Strauss theory has got idea of universal from linguistics and unconscious from linguistics. What we speak, है ना? We can't speak we can't speak as we like. We can't write that bread it's Mohan. Bread. Bread it's Mohan, we can't write. We are not a mango. It's a Ramesh. We can't write this sentence. है ना? We can only be writes, but we write as per the grammar, as per the rules. है ना? So actually human mind everywhere, as per Levi-Strauss, act in, we think in opposites. When we come on this specific topic, I will make detailing of all the thinkers. I can again, I have just given overview of thought. And one thing more I like to say, that suppose earlier thinker, as I have told, that is classical evolutionism, thereafter diffusionism, thereafter functionalism, thereafter new evolutionist, neo-evolutionist, cognitive anthropologist, symbolist, anthropologist, and postmodernism. If you have to give criticism of earlier thinkers, है ना, you can criticize new evolutionist Leslie White or Julian Stewart or Marvin Harris through cognitive anthropologist or symbolic anthropologist, symbolic or cognitive. Actually, you can criticize earlier thinker from later thinkers. That, for example, Leslie White has given materialistic expression of culture. Marvin has given materialistic interpretation of culture, है ना? But culture is more than tools. Culture includes symbols. Culture includes knowledge. He has ignored that. And when we have to criticize symbolism, we'll say that Greece Clifford Geertz has reduced culture to only symbols. But culture is more than symbols. Culture also includes tools. है ना? So actually, in discussing thought, you can criticize earlier thinker with the idea of later thinkers. Okay? And thereafter, I have discussed that thought, one thought, for example, classical evolution by the grand old thought, and in support and opposition develop other thoughts. A new thought developed to redress the shortcoming of earlier thoughts. So they provided the opinion, they provided the views and relevance of thought. Now I tell you something about relevance of thought. For example, if you have to study change, to study change, variation, evolutionism, or diffusionism is relevant. Actually, in archaeology है ना, archaeological anthropology, tools found from the sites are arranged as per evolutionary idea or diffusion idea. Tools are arranged as a linear progression stages. Linear. So in discussion of prehistoric tools, evolutionary perspective or diffusion perspective was usually followed. But nowadays, ecological adaptation is also getting prominence. है ना? Tools are arranged as per evolutionary linear progression. है ना? Lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic tools. So they are arranged as per linear progression. Okay, and diffusion is also used. Diffusionary idea is also used to explain variation. Nowadays, ecological perspective is also important. है ना? For example, we will have question on ecological perspective. Ecological perspective is also gaining importance. For example, you have in the question 2001 ecological adaptation during Mesolithic. This question is easy to understand through this ecological perspective. The difference between Sohan culture and Madrasian culture is also explained in terms of adaptation to glaciation and fluviation. So actually, anthropological perspective that you study in thought can be applicable to explain changes in time and space. Functionalism is not suitable to explain change. But explain the relevance of Purusharth. This question has come. Second paper. You can explain relevance of Purusharth through functionalism of Radcliffe Brown and Malwatsky from individual point of view say and from social point of view. Actually, the four Purushartha, Kama, Artha, Dharma and goal can be explained by the four Purusharth, Kama, matlab sex, Artha, Dharma and Moksha. Can be explained through individual point of view, how it serves individual needs and social needs. Well, means Malwaskian and Radcliffe Brown point of view. We can discuss all these from social and how karma help individual to gratify sex and through reproduction help society to continue. So we can discuss such concept here. So thought help you to explain questions even in the second paper. In the first paper, marriage, family, we can study from Malwaskian point of view, from Radcliffe point of view. If you have to define marriage, you can say that Malwatsky has defined marriage from individual point of view. You can name the thinkers. Writing answer, you can take the name of thinkers that these thinkers has perceived, explained marriage or defined marriage in such and such way. So thought, you can name the thinkers in answering the questions. Okay. Symbolic thinkers can be used in discussing religion topic. In religious behavior is symbolic behavior. So in a study of religion, in a study of language, symbolic anthropologists are symbolic thinkers are relevant, because language is symbol, and through this symbol we train children in culture. We train children in culture through use of symbol. So symbolic anthropology is relevant in a study of religious behavior or linguistic behavior. Cognitive anthropology is also relevant. So actually thought can be used to answer question even in the first paper or second paper. Postmodernism is relevant to explain ethnic movement. Postmodernism is relevant to explain ethnic movement. Actually, people who are associated with movement have their own meaning of their participation. If people are involved in a ethnic movement, they have own meaning of their movement. So we can then discuss thought, a specific thought in very short span of time later on. Today I have also answered some of the questions, but we will finish thought in 1 and 2 days in later classes. But these are the basic of thought. Okay. And in crash course, I start from the beginning, from anthropology, central meaning, then main ideas of anthropology, marriage, family, kinship, and I will discuss in one session, economy, polity, religion in another session. In this way, I will discuss the whole syllabus. Overview of whole syllabus. and some difficult things that you have not thought of. I will also explain that. Or if you have any question, general overview of the whole syllabus, integrating first paper and second paper, answer point of view. Focus is on answer point of view. This is not a, this class is not relevant for a novice, but it is relevant for those who have already studied, so that they can, purpose is to write answer. Thanks. Any question?